Alright, so today in this session, we're going to be talking about groups and periods. So firstly, if you have the Kerboodle book, you can go to page 62 and 63 in the Activate 2 Kerboodle book, and you'll be able to find 1.2 groups and periods. So before we start with this lesson, we need to go through the learning objectives. So after this topic, you'll hopefully be able to use patterns to predict properties of elements and compare patterns in properties in the groups and periods of the periodic table. So first, we need to know what groups are and what periods are, as the title suggests. So groups are the vertical columns. So in the periodic table, this is the periodic table. The groups are the vertical columns. So the elements in a group have similar properties. So firstly, groups. So groups go down from lithium all the way down, beryllium all the way down, boron, carbon, oxygen, just like that. It goes down. So we have group numbers as well. So we have 1, 2, 7, and then the last group is going to be 0. We will see later in the session why group 0 is not known as group 8 or the noble gases. So we will learn about that as well. So going down a group, there is a pattern in the properties such as the melting point, boiling point, and density. And just for information, density is how much mass something has for its volume. Firstly, you get asked one of these questions. So there's many firstly, the good thing about the Kerboodle book is that it gives you questions that you have to answer, and many of these questions can come up in the test as well. State the name given to the vertical columns in the periodic table. So for how much we learned so far, we know that the name given to the vertical columns in the periodic table is groups. The table shows how this table of it, the three tables, they show data for elements named palladium in the periodic table. Each table shows the elements in one group. Okay, so this is showing the iron and the other two elements and three elements and three elements. Okay, so Sophie studies the data. She makes a prediction for the groups headed by the iron and cobalt. Melting point increases from top to bottom. The nickel group is likely to show the same pattern. So I predict that the melting point of palladium is between 1453 degrees and 1769 degrees. And a data book gives the melting point of palladium of 1550 degrees. So Sophie's prediction is correct. Well, this is how you can use tables to just predict information. So what are periods? So we just looked at what groups are. So groups go down the periodic table, and periods. So we need to look at periods. So periods. So the horizontal rows for the periodic table are called periods. So periods go from left to right, never from right to left. They go from left to right. Going across period, there are patterns in the properties of the elements. So the bar chart over here below shows the melting points of the period 2 and period 3. So period 2 is over here, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, and then it just goes right over there. Then you have period 3, which goes sodium, magnesium, aluminium, and then it goes to the right. Then you have period 4, that's potassium, and then it keeps going to the right. Okay, so so going across the period, there are patterns in the properties of the elements. So this two bar charts over here, they show the melting points of period 2 and period 3. So period 2 over there and period 3 over here, from lithium all the way to neon, I believe that is, and period 3 from sodium all the way to argon. So these are the two melting points. Adam describes a pattern shown on the bar charts. So there is a pattern over here, and Adam describes it. So for period 2, the melting point increases from left to right for the first 4 elements, and the melting points of the other elements are low. So the pattern is similar for period 3. Now, this is how we can interpret or give information or evidence for anything just by looking at these diagrams or just bar charts. So this is one more question that can come up in the test to state the name given to the horizontal rows in the periodic table. And these are the summary questions for this topic. So you can get summary questions as well. Copy the sentences below, choosing the correct bold words. So the vertical columns of the periodic table are called group/periods, or you have to select one answer. The horizontal rows are group/periods. You have to select one answer. There are patterns in the elements properties down or across a group and down or across periods. So for question 2, you can be asked to give density data. So this table, firstly, these two tables over here, like we looked at this table previously over here after question 1. So these suggest that firstly it's giving the density data, so you have to draw two bar charts to display the data. Okay, so these two are tables, okay, just like these two tables, and you have to make these two tables into a bar chart, so into this sort of diagram. So what you have to do is use your bar chart and the periodic table to predict the density of palladium. So we did go through this question earlier already. It's not the exact same, but it's similar, and so you can use this answer to help you um, with this question. And for question number 3, you have to draw a big outline of the periodic table, and you have to add labels to summarize the information on this spread. And you just need to look at the periodic table firstly. It's better to have like a good copy of the periodic table. I personally have a copy of this, and you should have like the original copy. So according to the exam board that you're doing, you should have that specific exam board periodic table. So I have that AQA exam board periodic table, and it's very useful to have that. So that's pretty much it for this video. If you want to use this at home, you can go to page 62 and page 63 on Kerboodle, activate true Kerboodle book. If you have the login to the Kerboodle, or I just went through this, so perfectly understood it. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.